All right, folks, again, thank you for joining us here as we get ready to kick off Belgian Waffle Ride, the 12th edition. And we have a star-studded group of our women's field to introduce to you. So I'll just work my way down the table, actually. This is a name that you're going to be hearing a lot more of. Chelsea Pummel, come on up and join us here. As we've talked a lot about riders coming out of the woodwork at an event like Belgian Waffle Ride, and this will continue season after season, there's no doubt, as Belgian Waffle Ride will be attracting riders from not just cycling disciplines, but from all kinds of backgrounds. And we'll have a chance to talk about that with Chelsea. Next up will be a woman who made her mark, no doubt about it, at the end of the 2022 season. She was absolutely in fuego. Let's bring up now Paige Onweller, Belgian Waffle Ride Michigan champion and Big Sugar winner as well. What a season. So great to have you with us, Paige. So joining Paige now will be another rider ready to step up and deliver now, as Cecily Decker is joining us. Cecily, great to have you with us. Cecily in her fourth Belgian Waffle Ride here, and was leading in Michigan for a good portion of that event. And now let's move to the pride of Gun Barrel, Colorado, as she has not missed the podium. I believe it's maybe 4 for 5 now for Hannah Shell, making her way up. Thanks again for joining us here, Hannah. Sitting next to Hannah now will be, we talked a lot about with the gentleman a moment ago, some of our road stars. Well, this is a female road star with us. Watch out for Danger Woman, Maddy Ward. Again, don't be surprised when you hear any of these names having a breakthrough ride here at Belgian Waffle Ride. But now we have a Brazilian Olympian to bring. Finishing in the top 10 at the Rio Games, it's Flavia Oliveira. Flavia has been phenomenal at Belgian Waffle Rides through the years. And much like Pete Stetina, I would give her that title of the woman of the waffle. And now, whatever that means. So that has us now, and I haven't seen her with us yet, but I did on Instagram see she was close at least. Rebecca Faringer, are you with us here, Rebecca? She is here. Great, Becca. Oh, there we go. Come on up. Becca was our champion in Kansas, has represented the United States at the World Championships in cyclocross and been on the podium at our U.S. National Championships as well. Great to have you with us, Becca. And now a rider who certainly needs no introduction, a crowd favorite. I think it's fair to say the people's champion. Come on up, Izzy King. Izzy now identifies as a Southern Californian as well. That's always tough for a Northern California. Yes. I thought that was relatively humorous. So now, well, if you've never been to Bend, Oregon, what an amazing outdoor community that is. And this woman is certainly the poster child for get outside and kick ass. Let's bring up now Sarah Max. So Sarah, another one of our riders who you just never know when she's going to have that breakthrough ride and find the top step of the podium. So thank you, Sarah. And now we talked about multi-disciplines, not just in cycling, but in endurance sports. And this is an athlete that we're extremely excited to have with us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Heather Action Jackson. Come on up, Heather. Heather's been a Iron Woman. 70.1 is her discipline, and now 70.3, sorry. I got the wrong, I got one of the Amazon bumper stickers that had it wrong, yeah. So the 70.1 came up 200 meters short. All right, so that leaves now one more rider to bring up, and this is one of the greatest stories, I think, in the sport. Out of Fort Collins, Colorado, she's a business owner, one of our top athletes, and certainly this is what Belgian Waffle Ride, if you could personify Belgian Waffle Ride in one person, it would be Whitney Allison. Come on up, Whitney. All right, so ladies, I see we've got Chelsea. It's great to meet you. Why don't we start down here at the end of the table just to keep everyone in line. So Chelsea, I understand that you come from a skiing background.
Yeah.
So talk about how you got into gravel for us.
I think I accidentally bought a gravel bike instead of a cross bike one year. When gravel started getting going, I decided I should do one of these races.
So what was the very first time you showed up at a bike race? Was it intimidating for you? I mean, you've got so much experience in sport.
Yeah.
Can you still be intimidated at a bike race?
I'd say bike races, gravel especially, I'm probably less nervous about compared to skimo racing. So you're probably going to freeze.
So it's the fear of dying.
Couple of
Yeah, I can see that being
Quite
scary for
literally.
you. Yeah. So as a kid, were you big into bikes, or is this the first time that you've really embraced the bicycle as a sporting tool in your life?
I think after grad school, I got into biking more. Actually, I put a mountain bike on my credit card when I got my first job offer and started just riding bikes then. But yeah, first gravel race was probably, whenever the Oregon Trail gravel grinders started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you from Oregon?
Montana.
Montana. There you go. So I'm curious in your perspective then when you look down at this table. We've got some of our great champions here. I mean, riders like Whitney Allison. How hard do you think it's going to be to find the top step of the podium at Belgian Waffle Ride San Diego? So, I mean, events are always going to be judged by the quality of the course and the quality of the competition. And this is a world-class group. So what are you expecting?
Out of myself, not very much. This is
Kind of the Alex
I think
Howes approach?
This is a trap.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why I'm here right now.
Well, no, I mean, you know, I would have to think, though,
Yeah.
as far as attitude in sport goes,
Yeah.
going in with no pressure, no
Yeah.
expectations.
There's very minimal expectations on myself for Sunday. Just, this race was picked out. I went to grad school in San Marcos, and so this happens to be my 10-year class reunion this weekend. So I'll be going into Sunday after a night out.
You went to this campus right here?
Up the street at University of St. Augustine
Oh,
for
no kidding.
physical therapy. Yeah.
Well, great.
So, yeah.
Well, good luck. I hope you have a wonderful day.
It'll be fun.
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Thanks, Chelsea.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, hey, Paige, why don't we'll grab the mic. Hey, that was a big win in Michigan for you. How fun was that?
Thanks. I was actually second there.
Oh, you were second. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. That's all right. I'll forgive you.
It was Big Sugar that you
Yeah.
won. That was like a week later, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think 2 weeks after. Yeah.
That was a strong group of Michigan-based women that you were racing with.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and so let's talk about that. The power that we're starting to see on the women's side. Well, not starting to see, it's always been there. But I feel like there's a renewed energy amongst this group. It's more competitive. There's more of you. There's more storylines to follow. Would you agree with that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, cycling historically has a big gender disparity, but we're starting to see that close a bit, and I think the women's fields are starting to become more competitive, which is making the races more tactical and harder, which is more fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been great to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, when you get to the point that it's not going to be always the strongest woman that wins, nor the smartest. It's some combination of that. Where do your strengths lie?
I mean, I can't fully disclose that. You know, it's a poker face over here. I don't know. I'm very motivated. So I'm coming off last couple days. I was down at Redlands, and I left Redlands even though I was sitting pretty well in the GC to come here on Sunday. So I'm kind of the opposite approach. I have high expectations for myself on Sunday, and just ready to make it a hard race and have some fun.
Actually, that's a landmark moment for racing, to tell you the truth. You're leaving Redlands to come do Belgian Waffle Ride. Did you
Yeah.
do the time trial today?
I did. I drove directly here after. I'm
Wow.
a little crusty, but yeah, I'm here.
Well, thank you for making Belgian Waffle Ride your priority.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Actually, that's the first time in my life that I've heard of
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
I took over the amateur jersey today and was
No
in
kidding.
8th GC. Yeah.
Wow.
Written down.
Somehow I really hope you get a karma rebate for that.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, Paige. Good luck. And
Thanks.
so, Cecily,
Yeah.
when you talk about gravel racing, right, it's hard, obviously. It's brutal. But tactics and racing IQ is important. What's your racing history?
Well, my racing history is mostly in alpine ski racing, so it's definitely a little bit different. Coming into gravel, I think it's less tactics than road racing, and it's more just about going as hard as you can right away from the get-go.
What kind of road racing experience do you have?
Very little. So I took over my collegiate club as president and sort of just decided that I wanted to road race and got a bunch of other kids to do it with me. And I did a few road races and then kind of got into gravel last year.
And so it seems like gravel isn't for everybody. It's not an easy world or not an easy sport out there. Is that what appeals to you about it? You seem like you're up for the challenge.
Yeah, I like to suffer. That's why I go out there.
Where is the most that you've suffered athletically up to this point in your sporting career?
I mean, I've suffered endurance-wise. I've suffered from ripping my knee in half. I definitely enjoy the endurance part more. So it's a different kind of suffering that I like a lot better than what I had before.
You're scaring everybody at this table. They're like, I don't know if I want a piece of that.
It's all about it's perspective, for sure.
All right, well, after that terrifying answer, no, Cecily, your attitude is awesome. I mean, in all honesty, good luck out there. How old are you?
I'm 24.
24, great. Hannah, it's interesting, isn't it, when you hear, I mean, so many people make up this community. It really is cool. I feel like you and Jake are such a big part of our gravel community now. Has it been fun for you to watch this rise?
Yeah, we love this community so much. I mean, I think, Jake and I were probably on the verge of leaving racing a couple years ago, and then we stumbled onto gravel, and we're so fully committed to it. It's such a great, just being here with this group of women, like they're all so talented and come from so many different backgrounds. It's just an awesome experience to be able to race with them.
At the Belgian Waffle Ride in Cedar City, which is one of my favorite places to go for a bike race, you had a great ride there. And a woman that was on the podium with you and the woman who won right down there, Whitney Allison, just took over the GC lead at Tour Redlands yesterday.
Yes,
It's pretty crazy the quality that we have in this field, isn't it?
Oh, to see Nadia take the yellow jersey yesterday was amazing. And it is really cool to know that, after BWR Cedar City, we were sitting, I think Whitney and Flavia and I were sitting in the grass with Nadia, and she was saying,
that was her second ever gravel ride.
That was her first gravel race. Yeah, she was second. And she said, I really want to race on the World Tour someday. And we were like, you're strong enough. You can do it. And then I open up Instagram, and she's in the yellow jersey. So not surprised, but really happy for her.
Yeah, I agree. It's all about dreaming. There's no doubt. So for you now, it's a new lifestyle. I mean, some of the guys are doing it as well, traveling the country. I think of Pete is a good example. You're doing pretty much the same thing. How have you found the gravel lifestyle to be?
So my husband and I have been on the road since December 31st in our fifth wheel with our two cats. We love it. We very much so love it. We're also very ready to...
Do the cats love it?
Yeah, they tolerate it.
All right.
They're okay. Like, they don't love the travel days. But we like to think that they know that they're not alone at home. And so they tolerate it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Good. Well, would you pass the mic? Thanks, Hannah. That's Hannah Shell.
I got this one.
Oh, perfect. Maddy, it's coming from a road racing background.
I sure am.
Yeah, so here you are. Exactly. What brought you to Belgian Waffle? Is this your first?
This is my first, yes.
Yeah. So, what inspired you?
Well, I'm from San Diego originally. So when you asked me where I'm from, and I said Tucson. I live there now, but I was, born in LA. I moved to San Diego. I've never gotten the chance to race this race because it's always during a road race. But now that I'm retired from road, here I am.
What have you heard about Belgian Waffle Ride? I mean, in the zeitgeist of the cycling community, you come from a pretty not insular road world, but more or less. What are you anticipating as far as how hard this is going to be?
I mean, my friend who's raced this before, he's like, hey, is your bike dialed? And I'm like, not really. And he's like, don't worry, no one's is. So, everyone's bike may or less explode is what I know about Belgian Waffle Ride.
Well, I don't know if I can sign off on that advice.
It's not advice by any means.
Right now, Michael Marks is like, you're going to want your bike dialed.
I'm hoping to get some help later. If anyone knows how to bleed brakes.
Yeah. Actually, Shimano is right there, right?
Oh, perfect.
Yes. Hey, Flavia, let's talk about that very quickly. How important is course management with your machine? Okay, I'm sorry. Flavia Oliveira, the Brazilian Olympian who really has as much pound for pound, ounce for ounce. I don't think there's anyone out here with more experience than Flavia.
That's not a whole lot. Stand up.
One.
I'm short. Rebecca, see, this is the stuff I have to put up with.
I'm losing control of the class. So, what's the biggest? What's the
You're
biggest?
not the only one that you don't get picked on. Look at this.
So, Flavia, what's the biggest bike debacle that you've ever had at a Belgian waffle ride?
Ooh, gosh, you know what? For the short amount of time of doing this, I have quite a bit of a problem following directions. I guess
You
I
get
got
lost. Yeah. And you, how many of you by show of hands have gotten lost on a Belgian waffle ride course? Yeah.
Well, where's
Chelsea
Maddy?
hasn't done it yet. So, yeah.
So to my defense, I had Maddy Ward with me, so we got lost together. So I wasn't the only one that day.
Yeah.
I wish she was here to defend me on this one. But yeah, that was very tough because it was a course that was already really hard and hilly, and we added 20 miles. If you talk about liking to suffer, stick with
Come
me.
ride with
Just
her.
kidding.
And she finished.
10. Yeah. Yeah. Out of sheer stubbornness.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what Michael was saying was that adding 20 miles there, but finishing ended up putting you at the top of the podium for the quadruple crown. And
Because as we were talking about, the thing about this, there's a lot of things that go out of your control. Sometimes all the stars have to align for you to do well at a gravel race, right? Some of us don't have cyclocross skills or mountain bike skills, and I'm like, I gotta try to do what she's doing. I'm like, how does she remount so easily? I'm like, this is not that easy for a roadie, right? Like, it's true. Sorry, Maddy.
Oh.
But I'm looking at them. I'm like, gosh,
I have scabs on my knees right now.
you're cramming. Just kidding. Anyways, but it is. I think that's also part of the reason why I'm so drawn to it, because it's new to me, and I learned so much by watching these women that are so good at what they do. I think always learning and always challenging yourself. I mean, the course itself, 120 miles is something that a roadie is not female. We're talking 120K, and then we're doubling the distance and the time on the bike. I'm learning everything: tire pressure, how to eat on the bike, how not to get lost on the bike.
listen, let's talk about that. I think that's significant. We've talked for years about equal prize money and that kind of thing. But equal race distance,
Yeah.
and certainly I think that's been part of the secret of the success of Belgian
Yes.
Waffle Ride.
Yes.
It's more than just respecting women, it's action on that.
Exactly.
And so these distances that you race are an absolute game changer, aren't
Yes. And I wish more women could see this and support this, because it's massive what race promoters do for us to give us equal footing on everything. Podium, prize, distance. We don't have to be, and I say this because at UCI, the first thing they did at the UCI Gravel Worlds is that they docked 50K out of the women's race. It's like,
Yeah.
this is not what gravel is. Gravel is equal for both of us. So I maybe hope that this could serve them, as a lesson to change things for the future. I think that's one of the reasons why I decided to tackle this challenge. It's because of the equal opportunity that we have.
Last question for you. Are you going to go for the quadruple crown again this year?
Yes.
Good.
There's so many cool places to see and more places to get lost. Just kidding.
Now you can get lost in Canada and Mexico.
No. Let's not do that. My Spanish is not that good. I speak Portuguese, so I get a little confused between the two, but we managed to communicate. But I'm hoping to see other beautiful places.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks, Flavia. It's great to have you out here. So, big donut fan, huh?
I like waffles, but I freaking love donuts.
All right. So, Rebecca Faringer's donut ride, maybe in the future. But
I did a donut 5K in college where you ran a mile and then ate as many donuts as you could, and then you got time deducted for each donut that you ate. And it's sort of like a beer mile. You just can't throw up. I did
sounds like
pretty
a
well.
great sport.
I did really
Yeah.
well.
So
honestly,
I finished
I
with a
missed my
negative
car.
40-second time.
I'm the first person to ever run a 5K in under a minute.
Yeah, good for you.
Everybody else quit.
How's that sport doing? You don't hear about it. So, hey, in all honesty, we've talked, it was an emotional win in Kansas. I felt it. That's for sure. Your story is no secret. You've been public about the TBI and coming back from a tough cyclocross crash going a few years ago.
Yeah.
How much did that win mean to you? I don't want to overdo it here, but it was special, wasn't it?
Dave, you can't overdo it. I think that I've always, whenever I win something, it doesn't matter what I win. I actually talked to my therapist about this, and apparently I'm broken. Because when you win something, you should be really excited. And I'm just like, it's my job. I did my job. You don't finish your day at work and people applaud you. So I've had to realize that like my job is showing up and doing my best, and that I need to be happy when my best happens to be better than everybody else's, because that's what we're all aiming to do when we aim to win, is not be on our worst day and hopefully be better than everybody else. And I was actually just on a ride with Sarah today talking about it. Over the past few years, between pandemic, getting COVID, having multiple concussions, and changing my focus, I've lost some joy and a lot of pride in what I do, and a lot of like self-efficacy and self-worth. And I do think that the win in Kansas really helped boost that quite a bit, and having people be excited about that and still be excited about it. I'm thinking maybe tomorrow, Sunday. Okay, so I'm going to show up at the start line tomorrow. Can somebody tell me to go back to bed? Because apparently the race is Sunday. So yeah, I think I'm finally ready. I don't know how activated the switch will be on Sunday, but I think I'm ready to come into the season not saying I am not my best self. I don't know if I'm my best self. Like, my legs don't think I am. Shut up, legs. But I'm ready to flip the mental switch to say I am the best athlete I'm going to be on the day, and hopefully that's as good as I've ever been, maybe better. I think there's a country song about this.
There must be, right?
Yeah.
A lost dog, and so hey, having a Bend, Oregon is a special place. There's no doubt about it. That's where you're living now.
Yeah, it's got really good skiing right now.
Yeah, I bet. So having another woman from Bend who can ride at your level, and that's got to be a bit of an advantage. Do you ride with Sarah Max at all?
Yeah, sometimes, I prevent her from half-wheeling, and I say, slow down, Sarah, I'm trying to ride with you today.
She's a beast.
Yeah, she's a bit of a sleeper beast, and by that, I don't mean she sleeps a lot. She actually doesn't sleep at all, which makes it really that confusing that she goes very fast. But no, it's really great having Sarah to ride with, and we kind of push each other on, days we don't want to ride as long, days where the weather isn't as good, days where the route isn't on roads that some of us want to ride or not. So it's always good to have a companion, and I mean, I hate to be heteronormative, but especially one of the same gender who I literally will just sit up and be like, Sarah, nothing is working today, and I just want to scream, and nobody understands why I hate everything. And she's like, no, honestly, like, Mercury's in retrograde, so just let it out. And I'm like, okay, cool.
It's a good friend.
So yeah, it's great on every level to be able to have Sarah to train with, and now coordinate hotels with.
Nice. All right. Thank you, Rebecca. Good luck out there.
Dave.
Yeah. All right. So, did you have a tough crash recently? I was looking at your Instagram.
Well, that was last year. It's a scar
Oh, that was
now.
a throwback post.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, oh man, that's a tough way to come into this week.
No.
So, not for the weak of heart out here, though.
No. I have no desire of winning that hard man award again. I know what it takes, and I would like to keep all the blood inside my body this year.
So for those that don't race or compete at your level, I mean, when you came in and finished, if the adrenaline is going, obviously,
Yeah.
how much did that hurt?
I mean, it hurt a lot. I think it hurt more when I crashed on it again.
Yeah.
But no, adrenaline is an amazing drug. I was like, this is awesome. Like,
No,
it was
absolutely.
really gross. I got 10 staples in my elbow. The guy in the hospital my favorite quote, if we're going on women's power, is that a man would have passed out or died long before the finish line. And I was like, let's go.
Can't argue that.
Because
So-
apparently we're better at blood loss. So that's good.
So it's an interesting position that you're in is King now living down here in Southern California.
Yes.
But when you look at it, you start to realize that you women have become role models for other athletes out there as well. And you in particular, for me, I've had, I don't know how to put this correctly, but women of all ages and all ability levels say that they were inspired by you. And I mean, I'm not talking about one or two. I'm talking about a good few. How does that make you feel?
No, I think it feels really good. I think, like, in the end of the day, if we're just pedaling our bike in circles, it's not something that's really worth it. I think for me, trying to get more people on bikes is a really big goal of mine. I discovered cycling late. I was 26 the first time I clipped into a bike, 27 maybe. So I feel like I discovered it late, and I'm kind of mad about that. But I think the goal is try to make it bigger than yourself, try to inspire someone else to do something that really scares the crap out of them. If they're going to sign up for a Belgian waffle ride because they saw that I did it and I had a great time, then that's the thing that's important.
No, you've been a great ambassador for not just Belgian waffle ride, but really for gravel cycling and on-road cycling. What is it going to take? I've heard people asking, winning at this level. You're knocking on the door. You really are. So I mean, what's the missing piece? If it was that easy, you'd just do it, right?
Yeah, a little bit of luck. I think last year, I got hit by another rider. That's why I crashed, and then I broke my bike, so I only had the big ring. And looking at double peak with only the big ring is pretty brutal. And then I flatted in the last 3 miles, and I still finished 6th. So I was kind of like, okay, maybe if 2 out of those 3 things don't go wrong, maybe have some luck on my side. Things could work out.
Yeah, I was joking about.
I did a lot of paper boying, but I made it.
So I don't need to put the 40 tooth on the back.
I mean, you'll like to have that, but you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
So you're getting good advice from this crew.
Well,
So
I thought that the trophy was made through what I should put on my bike, and I was like, that looks like a 40T down in the middle there. I'm not sure.
yeah, that's a good call. So that's a great question, though. What is the best advice that you would give to someone who's never done a Belgian waffle ride before? Not necessarily racing at your level, but what's the best way to get your head straight for this?
I mean, it's going to be a long day for everybody. I think you say if it takes us 7 hours, it's going to take a lot of people a lot longer than that. And so eat a lot of snacks, take your time. If it looks really sketchy, it's going to take you longer if you crash and break yourself than if you walk it. So I think keep moving forward is a big thing. Hydrate and keep it upright.
If you could win one race this year, is Sunday the race for you?
I think so. Honestly, it's the only course that mimics kind of what I do on a regular weekend. Our Saturday rides are really similar, and so a lot of the flat rolling hills don't suit me great, and a lot of the high altitude stuff doesn't suit me well. So this one's fun because it is kind of a backyard race.
Yeah, it's your home course, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good luck. That's our home rider. There we go. Good luck, Izzy. So this is Whitney Allison joining us now. Whitney's been on the podium at races like the Colorado Classic, but certainly winning Cedar City, that was a big one for you, no doubt about it. Coming into this one, we've talked about it, Whitney. You can come in fit, come in ready, but you're going to need a little bit of luck. What percentage of luck are you hoping for?
I'm hoping for 37%.
Okay, good. We can do that. No, I mean, in all honesty, again, racing's a crazy beast, isn't it? But without a little bit of luck, you're not going to be on the top step of the podium no matter how fit you are. Is that true?
It's absolutely true. There's just so many different things that can go wrong in races like this, like everything from maybe falling a little bit behind on nutrition or just hitting that one rock just so, or getting gapped off by another rider. There's just all these pivotal moments that can happen, and you just kind of hope that less of them happen to you than other people, because there's a lot of really fit, talented women out here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really, at the end of the day, that's the most heartening thing about a panel like this, is there's so many quality athletes. Is that the biggest change that you've seen in the last 10 years? You've been racing on the road, I mean, going back to the Supermint days, and are we in a good place?
I think that we're in a good place. I don't think that we're in the optimal place by any means, but I think that we've seen a lot of women see a lot of opportunities in gravel and kind of shift over this way, maybe from other sports, and now we're seeing a lot of women that are coming up exclusively in this discipline. And I think gravel's unique in that women can enter the sport and complete events as participation or go for PRs and then ultimately enter into competition if they wish.
I know you and your husband, Zach, work incredibly hard on an event back in your home in Fort Collins, Colorado, the FOCO Fondo. And so your perspective on what they're doing with Belgian Waffle Ride, I was talking about the copywriting and all of the elements that make this event special. Your thoughts on the job that they do here? You'd know better than anyone what it takes to produce an event like this.
I think like the Belgian waffle ride courses are really exceptional. They're very, I like to call them busy, like having chapters and different sections, like road sections and trail sections, and just totally different things from one another. It makes the day go by faster, even though you're still riding a absolutely ridiculous period of time.
Yeah, I hear you. So, Whitney, good luck to you out there. How many times have you been on the podium at Belgian Waffle Rides now? Are you over 4?
Never at California.
Never California. All right, we'll see how it goes. Good luck, Whitney. So, Sarah Max, good to see you. We're talking about your home in Bend, Oregon. How excited are you to be here at another Belgian Waffle Ride?
Oh, I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm nervous. It's my first race of the season, and talking about all the things that can go wrong definitely resonates. There's just a lot of luck that is needed, but I'm hoping to, I'm thrilled to be here. It
was interesting. I don't know if you ladies heard when we were talking with the Dutch guys about having been on bikes since they were 2 years old. When did you really fall? I assume you fell in love with riding and racing, but when did that come into your life?
Oh my gosh, that's a long question. I mean, I guess I've ridden, but I haven't really raced bikes seriously until 2018, 2019. I kind of rode different disciplines off and on over the years, but did a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And so I guess that's all adds up to gravel racing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's no secret that you're a mom of twins?
It's no secret because you love to bring it up.
I just want to give you credit for
okay.
Yes, no, a lot has gone into getting to this point.
That makes you a total badass.
Okay.
Thank you, Flavia. Right there. That makes you a total badass, is what Flavia said, and I would agree. But so at this point now, I have to think the racing is just fun for you to get out here and be your best damn self.
Honestly, I mean, that's why I do it. I don't do it to make money. I probably net lose money doing it, but it's fun. And I mean, I don't know everybody here, but I've met some of my best friends through riding a bike. Yeah.
So how are you then on the, going back to that Dutch guy thing, those guys all have been fixing their own bikes since they were 8 years old. Kind of thing. How are you? Not
bike.
So good?
Oh, man.
Well, I'm just wondering, I'm a terrible mechanic.
I'm a horrible mechanic.
Yeah. And the bikes have gotten harder and harder, no doubt.
Yes.
So when you go to the start line, I think it was Maddy talking about if my bike is rolling, I'm fine. But what's your mindset with your machine?
Oh, I've had a lot of things go wrong with my machine. I don't know.
I'm thinking
I should
Asheville.
probably have a shaman or something.
Did you have trouble in Asheville? I love that event, by the way.
Well, I had a flat early, but that wasn't. I mean, I crashed out of Cedar City. And then at Unbound, I was in third and washed out in some water, and my electronic shifting came unpaired. That was a moment where I probably should have been a better mechanic.
Yeah, or electrician.
Or just had YouTube.
Right.
I don't know.
I think it's fair to say, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if it was easy, it wouldn't be as much fun, I would think.
I guess that's true. The beer wouldn't taste as good.
Right, exactly. So last question for you. Walking away off, not on the podium, I can't imagine that would have you too happy.
I don't know. I don't really have,
It's not about that?
Yeah, sometimes I think it's easier to focus on what I can do, and because I can't control what all these amazing women can do. So for me, I'm just hoping to have a clean race and not have any regrets about what I did or didn't do.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. And now Heather Jack. Heather, it was great to hear you were racing with us, for sure. So triathlete background. What is your gravel experience? Do you have any?
I have, yes, I did a few last year. Actually, the first, I guess, unroad event I ever did was Cedar City in COVID. It was the only event that was going on. We drove down from actually Bend just to take part in that. So that was my first one ever. And then last year dabbled in a couple. So.
You're also from Bend?
Split time.
Okay.
So they're probably there a little bit more, but yeah. I've been up there, since 2010.
That potential for an all Bend podium exists now.
Yes.
So how would you compare, there's a lot of us have obviously never competed at your level in triathlon, but how would you compare the suffering or the effort level to do something like a Belgian waffle ride to a 70.3?
I'd probably compare this more to the full Ironman, so I'm good at that 8 to 9 hour range, so I guess that's probably what will translate maybe that endurance suffering for that long is probably the only comparison.
So where are you as far as your triathlon career right now, and how does this fit in?
Yeah, so I had been wanting to kind of transfer over some of this off-road stuff for a few years, especially after COVID, and I think that I finally, with the decision that Kona, which had been my main focus for 7-8 years, it is happening this one final year just for the women, but there were rumblings that it wasn't even going to happen this year. They were starting to move it around, and that was probably the nail in the coffin of like, I'm coming into gravel now because, yeah, I've always wanted to do it the last 2-3 years, and I actually always wanted to do this event. It was always the same weekend as Oceanside 70.3, which was kind of the kickoff to the triathlon season. This year it actually was off last weekend, so I could have done both, but yeah.
Was the bike your strongest segment?
Bike run, definitely. I was one of the last out of the water, so I would always have to just chase for as hard as I could. So I guess that is probably what built my bike up.
You're hoping Belgian Waffle Ride doesn't add a swimming segment. I'm hoping.
That is why I love triathlon.
Perfect.
I saw there is maybe a river crossing, but
It might be the way the weather has been here. There might be a swimming segment by the time we're done and dusted. So, ladies, I really appreciate you all taking the time to come join us and wish you good luck out there. I know a lot goes into this. Certainly, you really are the real champions of this sport, no doubt about it. So on behalf of all of our friends at Monuments for Cycling, I'm Dave Toll saying thanks a lot for coming out and joining us. Enjoy your time here. Certainly, as we're all in the expo, it's great to have everyone back together. We're going to have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you out there.